It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey guys, what's up? You're watching Up and Adam. My name's Adam Newell. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm the guy bringing you guys all the weekly interviews and recaps from your favorite celebrities and pop culture influencers. But for those of you who do know me, you know that that's not why we're always here, right? Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. And with that, let's jump right in. Okay, guys, so we're back to talk about Erika Girardi again, and apparently she's receiving a lot of backlash. Obviously, we all know everything that's going on with Erika Girardi. We know that she is facing, potentially going, broke in a different way. Like what broke means to her compared to what broke means to us is totally different. She'll still have her small gigs. She still has her social media. She still has her Real Housewives of Beverly Hills contract. But her soon-to-be ex-husband did admit that at one point he had anywhere from $50 to $80 million cash, and she won't have that sort of lifestyle for sure unless she marries into it. Now, fans are wanting to see her be a little bit more modest and kind of just show, okay, like I'm sympathetic to the victims. I see what's going on. I will help and contribute my time and cooperate any way possible in order to get the money back to the victims that they're rightfully owed. But from what Ronald Richards and some of the attorneys who are going after Erika are saying, that's not the case. Now, Erika has kind of seemed like she's not really burdened by any of this on social media. She's posting her photos where she looks like she's happy. She has, sexy photo shoots. She's doing technically whatever she wants, but I don't necessarily understand what fans want her to do. And I don't want to get backlash for this, but on social media, if she were to post as if she's sad and she's losing everything and her whole life is being turned upside down, then fans would think that she's doing that just to get sympathy. Now, if she acts like everything's okay, then fans feel like she's being, absent to the cause and not really showing any sympathy to any of the victims. So this is really, that kind of situation where she's in between a rock and a hard place as to how she should portray herself on social media. To be honest with you, if I were in Erika's shoes, I would not be on social media one bit, but it seems like the housewives don't really care about that. Jinsha is another housewife who is facing 2 indictments right now, potentially up to 50 years in prison for an alleged fraud ring, telemarketing fraud scheme. And, she was told asked to stop filming the show, which she has not. She continued to film season 2, and they're going to start filming season 3 in order to catch her going to court and everything else. So they're sort of rocketing that into production. And then she was asked to stay off of social media, which she has not done. She's been on social media and she's posting in her stories and reposting other people saying, hashtag free Jen and everything else, which Ronald Richards, when he came on and did an interview with me, he even said that doesn't look good for her. And it's almost like she's taunting the court. Apparently the Southern District of New York, who's going after her, has over a 90, I think it's 98 or 96, maybe it's even 99% prosecution rate. So they feel like, or at least he feels like, and maybe other attorneys, that by Jinsha doing all of this, it's not helping her case one bit. And that could be extremely problematic. Now, for Erika Girardi, she's not really the one that they're going after. They're going after her soon-to-be ex-husband, Tom Girardi, because these were his legal cases. They just want to know, does Erika have any involvement? And has she, participated in what they're calling a sham divorce? And was she also maneuvering money through Glam and her companies? Because they're alleging that she received over $20 million in loans to her company, EJ Global, from Girardi Keys, and that is not acceptable. They feel like that money should have been given to the victims, and it was money that wasn't theirs to begin with. Now, as for Erika, it seems like, based off of social media, that she's still living her best life as she's boarding a private jet and just smiling at the cameras. Fans were speculating that she even called the paparazzi to show up and catch her boarding the private jet as she shows up in her white pants, her pink jacket, and her I think it's 45,000 or 65,000, I'm not quite sure, Cartier ring. Oof. Fans are like, what are you doing? Read the mother room. And she clapped back. We obviously know that Erika Girardi is one of the clapback queens, and you can't go after her without thinking that she's not going to go back after you. And that's exactly what happened. She said, "This is my motherfucking room." Okay, Erika, we see you. Now, we don't exactly know whose private jet she was boarding or where she was going, but what we do know is that, she is still getting on a private jet and amidst, all of these legal woes. It's kind of like, can you just lay low a little bit? But for Erika, she's like, no, I'm just going to do what I want. This is my life, and I'm not going to let the public dictate to me how I'm going to live it. Okay, Erika, we see you. Now, fans are speculating that the only reason she is boarding a private jet was because she was embarrassed after they put out there into the universe, it was exposed the fact that they didn't own their 2 private jets to begin with that she boasted about on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, they're saying she's embarrassed because she said on the show, "I have a private jet." They're like, "Oh, you have a private jet?" She goes, "I have 2 private jets. That's the best way to fly." And, it really just boasts this extravagant, glamorous, lavish lifestyle that Erika Girardi once had. Now, they're speculating that she was getting on this private jet as a, look, F you, I'm still boarding private jets, so don't come after me because nothing has really changed for me. Now, I think it's kind of interesting that fans are speculating that because we're watching her on the show and she's made it very clear that a lot has changed for her. She downsized her home. She's renting a 3,000 square foot home, which is still huge, with a pool. It looks beautiful, but it's definitely not her 16,000 square foot mansion. She's driving a Range Rover. That must be hard, as opposed to a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or whatever other cars that she might have had. And she doesn't have the, again, $50 to $80 million wealth that she once had. She can't spend the same way. And even though we've said this, she still has the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills contract and some small gigs. It doesn't provide the same lifestyle that she once had. So with that, I think fans are speculating that she's trying to do her best to maintain that she's still doing okay. Even though she's not with Tom Girardi, she will be fine and continue to live her best life. Even though probably behind doors, that's not actually how she feels. But we're not Erika Girardi, and we can't tell you how she feels. We just have to wait and see, what she says on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That will play out more and more as the seasons come. We'll see it on Wednesday. And then I'm sure she's going to be asked a lot of questions at the reunion. Now, for Erika, she kind of does get the out of saying, I can't talk about a lot of the legal stuff because she, probably technically cannot talk about a lot of the legal stuff. However, I'm sure Andy Cohen will have a slew of questions ready and waiting for her. I'm sure they probably already do. Now, for Erika Girardi, she did not, at least they're saying she did not want to participate, cooperate, any of that when it came to the financial records regarding her companies or any affiliated companies, because they felt like if she was to cooperate, that she would technically be, writing a death certificate against her finances, against her own fate. That's what they were saying. So maybe that's exactly why, because there might be traceable expenses that might show some not right behavior. So there's a lot that will be combed through. And that's why we're all waiting for the July 19th week, because that is the week that the landlord's going to be called in. They want to know, how did you pay for this condo? How, what bank account is this coming out of? How did you pay for your Range Rover? What bank account did that come out of? We want to see your books and anything affiliated with your companies and the other affiliated companies. So the accountant who doubles up as the manager is also being called in. And there was apparently, or allegedly, a conversation between her and the divorce attorney and someone else who was not an attorney. Apparently there's a text thread that's fair game too. So the divorce attorney is also being called into court. This is just one thing after another. Guys, I want to know what you think, though. I don't want to necessarily just put words out there. I want to see how you guys feel about this, about Erika Girardi boarding a private jet. Do you think it means anything? Do you feel like it is sort of, not being aware as to or sympathetic to the victims? And do you feel like the Karen Huger parody account that said, "read the motherfucking room," was right? Do you feel like she should kind of lay a little bit more low than she is instead of getting on a private jet with $100 and something thousand Cartier ring? And also, how do you feel about her clapbacks saying this is my mother king room? Oof. It's almost like at this point, just stop and stay off of social media. But also on the other side, I can see where she's like, you guys aren't going to dictate to me what I do and how I live my life. So many questions to which I need so many answers. Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button, comment below. And before you go, don't forget to hit that like button and the notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. And with that, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Check us out every Monday and Wednesday. Thanks for watching Up and Atom.